All right, so are you ready? Today we are diving deep into the present perfect tense.
Ooh, grammar.
You might be thinking grammar. Really?
Yeah, it does sound exciting.
But trust me,
Mm.
we're going way beyond just the basic rules.
Okay.
The kind you find in your average workbook.
Yeah.
We're going to uncover how this tense shapes the way that we communicate, the way we think about time,
Oh.
and even how we tell our own stories.
It's interesting. It is fascinating how much power is packed into this one single verb tense.
Right.
We use it so often
Yeah.
without even realizing the subtle ways that
Mhm.
it's like influencing how we understand the world around us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We are going to dissect its two main uses,
Okay.
explore how those tricky time markers work,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even have a little fun along the way.
Speaking of fun,
Sure.
I'm curious, have you ever considered how different life would be if we couldn't connect the past to the present?
Oh, wow.
And that's essentially what the present perfect lets us do.
It's like our experiences would just be isolated events just floating in time
Right.
without any connection to who we are today.
Yeah.
Kind of a bleak thought, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
Think about how we describe our accomplishments.
Yeah.
I've climbed Mount Everest.
Right.
It's not just about that past event of climbing the mountain, but the lasting impact
Yeah.
that experience has had on you as a person.
It becomes part of your identity,
Yeah.
shaping your present and your future.
Yeah, totally.
And that's just one example, right?
Mm-hmm.
The present perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It pops up
Yeah.
everywhere
Mm-hmm.
in our communication,
Yes.
from casual conversations to formal writing.
And it's not always straightforward.
Right.
Those time markers can be real curveballs.
Don't even get me started on those time markers. One minute you think you've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
Next minute you're like second guessing every for in every sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's untangle that mystery
Okay.
right now.
Oh.
Remember how the workbook breaks down
Yes,
the two main uses of the present perfect?
of course.
Yeah.
It's all about finished actions with present results
Uh-huh.
and continuing actions that started in the past.
Right.
But honestly, sometimes I get those two mixed up.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
They can be nuanced.
Yeah.
So, like, let's take the example of
Right.
I've lived in Paris.
Okay.
It implies that, okay, you lived there at some point in the past,
Right.
but you don't live there now.
Right. So the action
Yeah.
of living in Paris is finished,
Uh-huh.
but the experience still resonates with you in the present.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you said, I've been living in Paris for 5 years,
Okay.
the 4 signals a continuing action.
So you're still Parisian chic.
Oh, yeah.
Yet.
You got it.
So it's all about those subtle cues, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And those time markers,
Yeah.
they can really influence the tone,
Right, yeah.
impact of what we're trying to say. For instance, imagine someone saying, I've tried to reach you all day.
Okay.
You know, there's a sense of frustration there, right?
Definitely. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
where have you been? I've been waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they had said, I've been working on this project all day,
Okay.
it conveys a different feeling.
Right.
Right.
It suggests dedication,
Exact.
focus,
Mhm.
maybe even a bit of pride in the effort they put in.
Yeah.
This is making me realize how much those tiny time markers pack a punch.
Right.
They're not just about grammar.
Yeah.
They're about conveying emotions
Mhm. Mhm.
and nuances.
Exactly. And that's what makes them so intriguing. They add layers of meaning
Yeah.
that go beyond the basic definition
Right.
of the present perfect tense.
Speaking of layers,
Okay.
how about those irregular verbs?
Ah, yes.
Why does English have to be so complicated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every language has its quirks, right?
That's true.
And those irregular verbs.
They're part of what makes English so unique.
But the past participles can be a real brain twister.
Uh-huh.
I still struggle with lie versus lay.
Oh, the classic conundrum.
I know, right?
But think of it this way.
Okay.
Mastering these irregular past participles
Yeah.
adds a level of sophistication
Yeah, yeah.
to your communication.
Yay.
It's like having a secret code
Ooh, I like that.
that unlocks fluency,
Okay.
you know?
I like the way you think.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we can make it a game, like
Yeah.
spot the irregular verb in everyday conversations.
And
Yeah.
it's a fun way to stay sharp
Yeah.
and avoid those common pitfalls.
Speaking of pitfalls,
Okay.
are there any common mistakes people make with the present perfect
Oh, absolutely.
that we should watch out for?
One that often trips people up
Okay.
is confusing the present perfect
Okay.
with the simple past.
Right.
For example, saying, I have seen that movie yesterday
Mm-hmm.
instead of I saw that movie yesterday.
Right.
Using yesterday
Yeah.
anchors the action in the past,
Right.
making simple past the correct choice.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
The present perfect is all about the present relevance
Mhm.
of a past action, not necessarily a specific point in time.
Right.
Yeah.
And another common mistake
Okay.
is forgetting those pesky,
Oh, yeah.
irregular past participles.
Uh-huh.
I have went instead of I have gone.
Ouch. Yeah.
Classic.
That one hurts my ears.
But hey,
Yeah.
we're all learning, right?
Right.
The key is to be aware
Yeah.
of these common mistakes
Yeah.
and just consciously practice using the present perfect correctly.
And maybe play a few rounds of spot the irregular verb
Exactly.
to keep our skills sharp.
Right.
Yeah. I'm feeling more confident already.
That's the spirit.
Right.
Remember,
Yeah.
mastering the present perfect is a journey.
Okay.
It's not a destination.
Right.
And it's a journey worth taking
Mm-hmm.
because it unlocks a deeper understanding.
Of how we use language
Right.
to connect with the world around us.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Uh-huh.
But before we get too philosophical,
Right.
let's jump into some real-life examples
Okay.
of the present perfect in action.
Right.
I'm particularly intrigued by how time markers can shift the meaning and impact of a sentence.
Let's do it.
Okay?
I've got some fascinating examples lined up
Okay.
from the workbook that
Yeah.
will really highlight the power
Okay.
of those time markers.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be amazed.
All right.
Okay, so let's grab some examples
All right.
from the workbook
Yeah.
and really see these time markers in action.
Okay.
I'm ready to be amazed.
Okay, how about this one?
All right.
From exercise 2.
Okay.
I've already seen that movie. Like, already implies, you're surprised,
Right.
maybe even a little annoyed that someone is suggesting you see it again.
Right. It's like, been there, done that.
Right.
But if you swap already
Uh-huh.
for never,
Okay.
the whole feeling changes.
Right.
You've never seen that movie.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're like eager to watch it.
Exactly. It shifts the focus from
Right.
past experience
Mhm.
to, like, a sense of anticipation.
Right.
The present perfect there
Yeah.
creates a link between your past lack of experience and your present desire to see the film.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'm seeing now how these time markers
Yeah.
add like a layer of emotional subtext.
Right.
What about yet?
Okay.
The workbook has a sentence, she hasn't finished her report yet.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that yet
Yeah.
suggests she's still working on it.
Right.
And there's this
Expectation.
expectation that she will finish it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe a deadline is looming.
It creates a sense of suspense. Will
Uh-huh.
she finish it in time?
Totally.
But
Oh.
if you take out the yet,
Yeah.
she hasn't finished her report.
Yeah.
It just feels more final.
It does, yeah.
Like maybe she's given up or something.
Yeah, it highlights the current state
Mm.
of the unfinished report
Right.
without implying any future action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to for and since.
Okay.
I always get those two confused.
I think of it this way.
Good man.
For is about duration,
Okay.
a length of time.
Right.
While since
Yeah.
pinpoints a specific starting point.
So I've lived here for 10 years
Yes,
versus I've lived here since 2014.
exactly.
Okay.
Both sentences tell us you still live in the same place.
Right.
But for emphasizes the length of time,
Right.
while since tells us exactly when you moved in.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm curious, do these time markers work the same way
Ooh, that's a good question.
in other languages?
It's fascinating how different languages
Yeah.
handle the concept of time.
Right.
Some languages
Yeah.
don't even have a direct equivalent
Wow.
of the present perfect tense.
Really?
They might use different verb forms
Yeah.
or grammatical structures
Right.
to express
Yeah.
similar ideas.
So learning a new language isn't just about
Right.
vocabulary
Uh-huh.
and grammar rules.
Yeah.
It's like entering
It's like a whole new way.
a whole new way of thinking
Yeah.
about time and experience.
Exactly. It
Right.
makes you appreciate
Yeah.
the nuances of your own language in a new way.
Speaking of nuances,
Okay.
the workbook
Yes.
has an interesting writing exercise
Okay.
where you have to describe your childhood using the present perfect.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think the purpose of that is?
It encourages you
Yeah.
to think about how those past experiences,
Hmm.
even like seemingly insignificant ones,
Yeah.
have shaped who you are today.
Like, I've always loved to read, or
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
fascinated by space since I was a kid.
Exactly. Those statements reveal something about your
uh,
personality,
Yeah.
your interests, in the present.
It's like drawing a line
It is, yeah.
from your past self
Yeah.
to your present self,
Uh-huh.
highlighting the continuities and transformations along the way.
I love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's making me want to dig out
Uh-huh.
some old photo albums
Yeah.
and see what stories I can tell
Right.
using the present perfect.
I think you'll be surprised by the insights that you
Yeah.
uncover. The
Ooh.
present perfect
Yeah.
can be a powerful tool for self-discovery.
You know, we've talked a lot
Yeah.
about how the present perfect works in everyday communication,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm wondering about its role in storytelling.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Think about how novelists
Okay.
use the present perfect
Mm-hmm.
to create like a sense of immediacy.
Right.
Like the action is unfolding right now. It can draw the reader into the story
Yeah.
and make them feel more connected to
Right.
the characters.
It's like you're experiencing the story alongside the characters,
exactly.
not just reading about it from a distance.
And it can also be used
Okay.
to foreshadow events or
Right.
create suspense.
Yeah.
For example, a line like,
They
he's
say-
been acting strangely all day,
Yep.
hints that something is about to happen.
Right. It creates a sense of anticipation,
Uh-huh.
keeps the reader on the edge of their seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the present perfect.
Right.
It can be used in so many different ways
Yeah.
to enrich storytelling
Right.
and deepen the reader's experience.
I'm starting to see grammar
Huh?
as less about like rigid rules
Yeah.
and more about the art of wielding words to create like powerful effects.
I think that's a wonderful way to put it. Grammar is a
Ah.
tool for crafting meaning
Mhm.
and connecting with others.
Right.
And the present perfect is one of the most versatile tools
Right.
in our linguistic toolbox.
Well said.
Aha.
And speaking of tools,
Okay.
we can't forget about those irregular past participles.
Right.
They might be tricky,
Yeah.
but they're essential
They are.
for using the present perfect correctly.
Sylvie.
So any tips
Um,
for mastering those
Mhm.
irregular verbs?
Yeah.
Should we go back to playing spot the irregular verb?
that's always a fun option.
Right.
But one helpful tip
Okay.
is to focus on understanding the patterns,
Mhm.
even among the irregular verbs.
Mhm.
For example, many irregular verbs
Okay.
change their vowel sound
Right.
in the past participle,
Yeah.
like sing, sang, sung.
Right.
You know?
Recognizing those patterns
Yeah,
can make it easier to remember the correct forms.
absolutely.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Of course not.
Right.
The more you use the present perfect,
Yeah.
the more confident you'll become.
Right.
It's all about practice
Yes.
and embracing the journey of language learning.
it is a journey.
Yeah, this whole deep dive has
Yeah.
made me realize how much I take grammar for granted.
Right.
It's like the invisible scaffolding that holds our communication together.
I couldn't agree more.
Right.
And the present perfect tense with its ability
Yeah.
to bridge time
Mhm.
and connect our experiences
Right.
is a testament
Yeah.
to the power
Yeah.
and complexity of language.
Well said. I'm feeling inspired to pay more attention to the nuances of language and appreciate the intricate ways we use it
Uh-huh.
to express ourselves.
Totally.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe this deep dive will
Yeah.
inspire others to embark on their own grammar adventures.
Now that's a thought-provoking idea.
Yeah.
What if this exploration
Yeah.
of the present perfect tense
Mm-hmm.
has sparked something in you?
Right. How has this seemingly simple grammar concept?
Influenced your own experiences in storytelling?
Yeah. Take a moment to reflect on that.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe,
Right.
mastering the present perfect
Yeah.
will even lead you
Yeah.
to win a grammar bingo game someday.
Yeah, that would be a victory
Uh-huh.
worth celebrating. It's funny, isn't it?
What's that?
How something as basic as verb tense
Yeah.
can really open up a whole new world of understanding about language.
I know what you mean.
I feel like I've been looking at the present perfect
Uh-huh.
through like a narrow lens
Yeah.
for far too long.
It is easy to get caught up in
Yeah.
just the rules and
Right.
forget about the bigger picture.
Mhm.
But when you step back and see
Yeah.
how the present perfect connects our past experiences
Right.
to our present selves,
Yeah.
it's pretty remarkable.
It's like we've been on this incredible journey, right?
Yeah.
Uncovering all these like hidden depths
Uh-huh.
in this verb tense.
Right.
And now we're standing at the summit,
Yeah.
looking out at this vast landscape
Hot. I like that.
of language.
Yeah.
and its impact on our lives.
And it's not just about individual understanding,
Right.
right? Think about how
Yeah.
the present perfect shapes the way we share our stories and connect with other people.
That's so true.
You know?
We use it to build empathy.
Yes.
To find common ground. To convey just the richness of our experiences.
Right.
It's like a bridge between our inner world and the world we share with others.
And that bridge is built on those subtle distinctions we've been talking about, the time markers, the irregular verbs, those nuances of meaning that make the present perfect so powerful.
It's amazing how much we can convey.
I know, right?
With just like a slight shift in verb tense, we can express pride, regret, humor, anticipation, all with the present perfect.
And that's what makes language so fascinating. It's this constantly evolving tool that allows us to really capture the complexity of human thought and experience.
I think we've done a pretty good job.
I think so too.
Of unpacking that complexity today.
Yeah.
We've gone from, basic definitions to exploring these subtle ways. The present perfect shapes our communication. And even our sense of self.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we've inspired our listeners to kind of pay closer attention to the power of language. And to just embrace the joy of discovering its hidden depths.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we challenge you to keep exploring the present perfect tense. Notice how it's used in books and movies and everyday conversations. Play with it in your own writing and your own storytelling.
That's a great idea.
And above all, have fun with it.
Yes, have fun.
Because when you start to see, like, the magic in grammar, a whole new world opens up.
It does.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
Okay, sounds good.
For another fascinating exploration of the world of language,